Welcome back to Open Line. Our topic tonight is the national debt, why it's important, what do we do about it. Our guest tonight is Weston Wamp. He is the founder of the Millennial Debt Foundation. I want to go ahead and bring in Ricky to the conversation. Ricky, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
What I'm trying to say is, now, I can't even afford to live in Tennessee and Nashville now because the previous governor Haslam said he wanted more millionaires in Tennessee. Now, most states down in the South, slavery states, states' rights states, they now they got in the habit of charging Social Security people taxes in order to live now. You get taxed with Social Security, you get taxes. Tennessee is behind the 8 ball. They refuse to do that. Now, since this crisis is going on with housing and people trying to move here and do that, they really had riffraff follow the millionaires here. In other words, they've had scandals and flim-flammers move here with them. Now, I want to pay my share like everybody else, but now I've been forced to move out of my neighborhood due to gentrification because the millionaires here had bought up, corporations here have come here and bought up everything with no fees going into pay taxes, no fees going into help sustain the city highways, roads. Something is wrong here, and this governor, he's had plenty of time to rectify everything, but he refused to do it because he's conservative. I don't care if you're conservative or not. You need to make your people stand up to the right and do right, and don't put it on the churches and don't put it on the charity groups like Catholic charities people. And that's what I got to say, because I've got to go get food from these charity banks, and these young people are not going to pay this budget back and giving all this money to these young women to have these kids. Why should I pay? I don't have kids. Why should I pay to subsidize for these girls going out here having all these babies? Where's the daddy? Why come he can't pay? And I thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope you can give me some answers to resolve this situation.
Thank you, Ricky. He touched on a couple different things there, Weston. One, talking about gentrification, and it sounds like he was making a point kind of about Tennessee's tax base, but then also talking about it sounds like the child tax credit in this latest stimulus. I'll let you go ahead, Weston.
Well, the proposed, it's not proposed any longer. I suppose I refer to the new child tax credit. The 2021 child tax credit is proposed in this sense because Democrats in Congress have been open about their intentions to make it permanent. And you had, I thought somewhat surprisingly, pretty legitimate proposals put forward and comparable ones put forward by Mike Lee, Marco Rubio, Mitt Romney, among other U.S. senators. Marco Rubio and Mike Lee, both senators, Rubio from Florida and Mike Lee from Utah, have been involved with the Millennial Debt Foundation, have been advisors to our Millennial Debt Commission, participated in our first major event. I do think you're seeing a shift that's a significant one just ideologically in terms of fiscal policy, the way that conservatives look at the role of government, look at the possibilities of really putting a dent in child poverty. I find some encouragement. I mean, Republicans are more intent on finding savings elsewhere to pay for these child tax credits. But I think there's a way that we can all probably, maybe not all, but I think there's a way that certainly a large majority of Americans can take heart in these targeted efforts to, I say this as a father of soon to be 4. My 4th child's on the way. So I do understand, that raising kids costs a lot of money. But I think what Republicans and Democrats have some different preferences in terms of who qualifies, who's eligible, what the income ranges might be. But what we've found, and I think there's quite a bit of agreement here, is that child tax credits and refundable credits do lower child poverty. And if there's anything, that in the most prosperous country in the history of the world, we all ought to be able to agree that we should do, if possible, it is eradicate and certainly make all reasonable efforts to put a dent in child poverty. So that child tax credit is not sustainable if you're not going to find ways to fund it. But Senator Romney and others have put forward plans that would expand the child tax credit significantly and would not add to the national debt.
Weston, we've got to fit in one more quick break. We have one more segment with Weston when we come back.